All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the visual language of the internet. You know, it's the stuff that makes websites pop, the reason they aren't just, well, boring black and white text. And here's the thing, you're using this language every single day, even if you don't realize it.
So, have you ever wondered how a website goes from being like a super plain document to a really beautiful, interactive page? Well, it's definitely not magic. It's code. But more specifically, it's this awesome partnership between two totally different but equally crucial languages.
Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to start at the very beginning with the absolute foundation of pretty much any web page you've ever laid eyes on. We're talking about its structure.
And that skeleton, that has a name. It's called HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Think of it as just the raw framework, you know? It defines all the actual content, your headings, the paragraphs, the images, all the links. But here's the key. It has absolutely zero style, none. It's all substance, but with, well, no flair at all.
This is such a great way to think about it, right? HTML gives you the structure, the actual bones of the page. But then this other language, this super important language called CSS, comes in and provides all the visual style. It's literally the clothes that make that skeleton look, presentable, unique, actually well-dressed.
Okay, so if HTML is our skeleton, we've got to talk about the clothes. What is this styling language exactly, and what does it actually do?
It's called Cascading Style Sheets, or what everybody calls it, CSS. Its whole job, its entire purpose is to control the look and the feel of that HTML content. You can think of it as a total specialist, a language that's focused on just one thing and one thing only, presentation.
And let me tell you, the power of CSS it's immense. It controls literally everything your eye is drawn to. We're talking background colors, the font you see in a headline, all the spacing that makes a page feel so clean and not cluttered, and even the entire layout that organizes all the content. Yep, CSS is the master of it all.
But this all brings up a really good question, doesn't it? I mean, why bother with two separate languages? Why not just cram all that style information right into the HTML structure itself? It seems like it would be simpler.
Well, the answer is a huge, fundamental principle in web design, the idea of separation. This is the key that makes the modern web work, that makes it scalable and manageable. By keeping the content, the HTML, separate from the presentation, the CSS, developers can go in and change one without completely wrecking the other.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Just imagine a website that has, say, 1,000 pages. Now, what if you decide to change your brand's main color from blue to green? Without this separation, you'd have to go edit 1,000 different pages. No way! But with CSS, you just edit a single line in one single file, and boom! The change happens everywhere, instantly. It is just incredibly efficient.
Okay, so we've got our HTML structure, our skeleton, and we've got our CSS file, the clothes. But how do you actually connect them? How do you tell that skeleton which outfit it's supposed to wear? Well, it turns out there are a couple of main ways to do this, and each one is really suited for a different kind of situation.
So, the number one way, the best practice, and by far the most common method is what's called an external style sheet. That's just a fancy way of saying all your styles live together in their own separate .css file. The other option is what's called an internal style sheet.
With an external style sheet, what you're doing is creating a single master file for all of your site's styles. Then, from every single one of your HTML pages, you just add one little line of code that links back to it. That is how you get that incredible efficiency we were just talking about. You change the font in that one file, and bam! All 1,000 of your pages update just like that, instantly.
Now, that other method, the less common one, is the internal style sheet. With this one, the styles actually live inside the HTML page itself. That means they only apply to that single page, which can be useful for, a quick test or maybe a special one-off design.
So there you have it. You now know the fundamental relationship between structure and style, between the skeleton and its clothes. HTML is what gives the web its meaning, its substance. But CSS, that's what gives it its art, its personality, and all of its beauty.
So really, the only question left to ask is, what will you design with it?